It started with small things, coming home later than she promised, skipping meals with the family, and ignoring her father's advice about her studies, but it quickly escalated. Sophie would roll her eyes when her father asked her to do simple tasks, like cleaning her room or following through with promises. The worst part was the way she spoke to him. One evening, William asked Sophie to be home by midnight. She had been out with friends, partying at a local club, and he knew she was running late. He was concerned about her safety, especially since she'd been neglecting her studies and wasn't keeping up with her responsibilities at home. But Sophie didn't care. She didn't think she needed to answer to anyone anymore. She didn't even bother to text her father to let him know she was running late. When she finally stumbled through the front door at 3 a.m., clearly intoxicated, William was waiting for her. "Sophie," he began, trying to remain calm. "I told you to be home by midnight. You've missed another lecture today. This is becoming a pattern. I'm concerned for you." Sophie barely looked at him, her words sharp and dismissive. "You don't get it, Dad. I'm an adult now. You can't control me anymore. I'll do what I want." William's eyes narrowed, his patience thinning. "It's not about control. It's about respect and responsibility. You promised you'd be home on time, and you've broken that promise again." Sophie snorted, clearly irritated. "You're such a hypocrite, Dad, always acting like I'm still a child. You can't keep treating me like I'm 10 years old. I'm not some little girl anymore." Her words stung. Sophie knew she had crossed a line, but she was too proud to apologize. She turned her back on him, heading upstairs to her room, not caring about the look of hurt on her father's face. William had always been a man of principle, and while he loved Sophie, he couldn't let her behavior slide any longer. His patience had run out. "Sophie," he began, his tone stern, "you've shown a complete lack of respect towards me and your responsibilities in this house. Your behavior has been unacceptable, and I won't tolerate it anymore. You will be grounded for the next 2 weekends, and you will complete all the household chores for the next week. No exceptions." Sophie opened her mouth to protest, but William held up his hand. "I've tried being patient, but you've crossed a line. You need to learn that disrespecting your family has consequences." Her father delivered swat with paddle, not harsh, but to give her a lesson. Sophie was furious. She tried to argue, to tell him he couldn't treat her like this, but deep down, she knew she had pushed him too far. The harsh truth settled in. Her father wasn't going to let her get away with her disrespectful attitude any longer. For the next week, Sophie was left with the consequences of her actions. She spent her days doing chores, no longer enjoying the freedom she once had. The weekends she had planned to spend out with friends were spent at home, grounded. It wasn't the punishment that stung the most. It was the realization that her father had finally reached his limit. She had hurt him, and now she had to face the consequences. As the week wore on, Sophie reflected on her behavior. She had acted out of selfishness and pride, but now she could see how her actions had affected her father. The respect she once had for him wasn't something to be taken for granted. It wasn't just about following rules. It was about understanding the value of family and the importance of trust. By the time the punishment ended, Sophie had learned a hard lesson. She had disrespected her father in ways that she couldn't take back, but she could start to make amends, and she knew that moving forward, she would have to earn back his trust and respect.